In this podcast, let's talk about the impact of World War II. Now, it seems obvious that we have two world wars, the first one and the second one. I would like to explain that the impact of the second one was also something which changed the first one. In fact, the first one was called at that time the Great War, sometimes also the war to end all wars, but never the World War I. The idea was that it was the last one. By the way, even in French, we have the expression la guerre des guerres, which means, in fact, la dernière des dernières, of course, guerre. So the idea was that this war, even if it was a big one, was considered at that time the last one. So after the crisis of 1929, we have a change, a great change, maybe a change of face. And the idea is that the second one was so important by its impact that it became the second one, in fact, before the first one. I mean by that the name of the World War II was in fact the reason of the change of the name of the first one. So we can say, even with this etymology, that we are more the successor of what? We are more the successors of World War II than one, because even the first one was impacted by the second. The idea is that the first one is in fact the base, and the second one is the generator. So we have, like in fractals, the idea that we have the first, which is the base, but we need the generator to continue the process. And now, in fact, we can feel it. Why? Because after the Second World War, we have also the Cold War. And even if it is possible to analyze the past of the World War II with the notion of the anti-Cold War, in fact, we know that even that was impacted by the Cold War, and now we have to consider ourselves that we are the continuity of this process. So we are not the continuity of the First War I, but the second one. And we can say, by the way, that without the crisis of 1929, maybe we couldn't say that the World War II was a continuation of the World War I. So, even if now it looks obvious that we have two world wars, in reality, the second one changed the name of the first one, and this is the explanation of the generator on the base. And the idea is that history changes even the past when the impact in the future is so big.